recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes,
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture.
Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZED Games AU.
Hello, you're listening to Zed Games. My name is Zahra, and with me in the studio tonight is...
Hazel.
And...
Peter.
Oh! How is everyone tonight?
So good.
So good?
So good.
I am fantastic.
I'm feeling pretty hyped tonight, which is really weird because when I was planning this episode, I was like, this is going to be a really chill episode.
Yep.
But then the hype of PlayStation has caught up with me.
That it has.
And I think we shouldn't delay any further. We're going to launch straight into the news by our very own Maylee.
Thank you, Maylee.
Thank you, Maylee.
Thanks, Maylee.
New games have been announced in the world of Dead by Daylight. Behaviour Interactive's asymmetric horror Dead by Daylight is one of the most popular horror games around. It recently celebrated its 7th anniversary with a stream where they announced a huge amount of content for the future, including 2 new games set in the same world as Dead by Daylight. The first new game will be a single-player, story-focused experience developed by Supermassive Games, who are known for creating gripping narrative games like The Quarry or Until Dawn. More information on this game will be coming out later this year. The second new game will be a multiplayer PvE experience where instead of facing off against each other, up to 4 players can team up, enter another one of the entity's realms, and take on a host of deadly enemies that occupy it. This is being developed by Midwinter Entertainment and is not as far along in development as the first, so we don't yet know when we will hear more about it. The anniversary stream also showed off a roadmap for the year ahead, featuring a lot of new content coming to the base game. A new chapter, End Transmission, will take Dead by Daylight to the stars on June 13th. New cosmetic packs inspired by the bands Iron Maiden and Slipknot are coming soon. And, strangest of all, Nicolas Cage is becoming a survivor and joining the game on July 5th, having provided all the voice work himself. An unnamed kid has filed a lawsuit against Nintendo over the immoral loot boxes within Mario Kart Tour. This mobile game came out in 2019 equipped with loot box microtransactions, and whilst this is fairly standard for mobile games, it does seem particularly egregious coming from a company like Nintendo. While Nintendo did remove microtransactions from the game in late 2022, lawsuits like this one are only now making it to the courts. With a single draw costing a few dollars, the child who filed the lawsuit spent $170 USD through a card linked to the game. In that lawsuit, they now claim that Nintendo used dark patterns to trick players into spending more money on the game's microtransactions, and that minors are especially susceptible to these addiction-enhancing elements of game design. Public perception of loot boxes and similar microtransactions has soured greatly in the last few years, and lawsuits like this are popping up more and more often. But it's still hard to predict what way they will go, so we'll have to wait and see what happens in this case. In the early hours of the 25th of May, the PlayStation 2023 showcase took place, announcing a huge number of upcoming game titles and new hardware. Here are some of the highlights from the show. PlayStation is going handheld with a new piece of hardware coming later this year that will allow you to stream any game from your PS5 console using remote play over Wi-Fi. The device, known as Project Q, sports an 8-inch HD screen and all the features of the DualSense controller. In addition to this, they announced they will be launching their own pair of Bluetooth-enabled earbuds, which promise lossless audio with low latency and will be compatible with PlayStation 5, PC, and the new Project Q device. Bungie, the studio that gave us Halo and Destiny, has announced Marathon, a revival of one of their earliest titles, which released for Mac in 1994. The new Marathon is said to be a PvP extraction shooter and is also multi-platform with full cross-play and cross-saving coming to PS5, Xbox SX, and PC. Revenant Hill is the latest game from the studio that created Night in the Woods. The announcement trailer showed off a very similar art style to Night in the Woods, but the games are not connected in any way. Revenant Hill takes place in 1919 and you play as Twig, a cat who has fallen on hard times and is working odd jobs to make ends meet until they can reach their dream of becoming a familiar. After months of rumours, we finally got confirmation that Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is getting a remake as Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. In addition, we'll see a re-release of the first 3 Metal Gear Solid games as part of the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, which will be coming later this year to PS5. That's a lot of Metal Gear Solid. Square Enix is bringing us Foam Stars, a 4v4 shooter coming to PS4 and PS5. The gameplay is very similar to Splatoon, except instead of paint, players will shoot foam at each other, and teams aren't racing to cover the map in their colours, but instead the foam is used to both attack and change the layout of the map. The showcase concluded with a 12-minute gameplay reveal of Spider-Man 2, showing off many of the game's most exciting features. We saw more from our villain, Kraven the Hunter, we saw the black symbiote suit in action, and we saw action from both playable spider heroes Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Although we weren't given a date for the game's release, we were given a window of fall 2023, which is spring for us. And we've got some upcoming game releases. On the 26th of May, Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue is coming to PlayStation VR and PlayStation VR 2. We've also got Sheepy, a short adventure, coming to PC. And on the 30th of May, we have System Shock coming to PC and Company of Heroes 3 coming to PS5 and Xbox Series XS. And that's all this week in gaming news.
Whoa, that is some hot news fresh off the press.
Yeah.
The PlayStation Showcase was just this morning.
6 a.m. Australian time.
I know that there was more than a few people who had a bit of an early start. I also had an early start, but it was for boring reasons. But now, we will talk more about the PlayStation Showcase later in the show, just because there's so much to talk about. And I kind of want to talk more about Nick Cage.
Nick Cage!
In Dead by Daylight. Honestly,
is this the first time you've been able to be Nick Cage in a video game as an official release and not a mod?
I feel like
the
in my
Skyrim
soul.
texture mod.
In my soul, there's got to be another game where you play as Nick Cage. I feel that in my bones. I have no facts. I have no
Did they ever release a
actual
game
memory.
for Disney's Sorcerer's Apprentice? Because he was in that. Was there a
Okay,
game?
but that's playing the character that he plays in the movie. That's not.
Yeah, except
That's
Nick
not
Cage,
being Nick Cage.
I was going to say, I don't
Nick
think there's
Cage
ever been a...
Nick Cage is a sorcerer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was playing a character who
Oh, you
was
mean
also a
playing
sorcerer.
as just directly Nick Cage?
Yeah, just
Oh,
being
no, I don't
Nicolas
think so.
Cage, the man, by name.
I mean, he's allowed to have usernames, or personas, or nicknames. Perhaps his nickname is Sorcerer. But very exciting for Dead by Daylight fans. I'm
Nicholas Sorcerer Cage Coppola.
yes.
Right. Does this mean that any match that he's in is a cage fight?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure he's
have
been in
that-
a movie called Cage Fight.
Oh.
Has he?
I'm just going by
No, you know what?
probability.
I feel that in my bones as well. I feel that in my bones as well. That's got to be.
Yeah.
I think this feels like we now need like a Smash type game with all of the Nicolas Cage characters.
Oh, and we'd use them all.
Yeah, it's just all Nicolas Cage just fighting each other.
Who's the most powerful Nick Cage?
Most powerful Nick Cage is probably, I gotta say, Nick Cage in Face Off.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's
I mean,
that's
that's
a pretty popular
up
one.
there.
What's the character's name? Costa Troy?
something like... It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
I feel like Nick Cage in National Treasure is... You can't underestimate him.
He's an underdog.
He's determined.
He's...
Ooh, what about
he's gritty.
the dad from Croods?
Ooh,
That could be a pretty...
unexpected. But I think, you know what? I would put my money on Nick Cage, dad from Croods.
I'm picturing multiverses.
Yep.
Like the game, but it's just Nick Cage characters.
Yep.
Nick Cage from different universes.
Yeah,
Just
it's
a
every
battle
Nick
royale.
Cage character that he's ever voiced, played, given life to been
given enough
modeled
time,
on.
Fortnite will have every Nicolas Cage character, and then you'll have just 100 people playing every single version of Nicolas Cage
And
in a
wouldn't it
battle
be
You know what?
glorious? I want to see this so badly. Make
That
this
is-
happen. Make more
Every
Nick
now and then,
Cages.
Fortnite does something right.
Yep. Every now and again.
But no, I think it's really exciting that they're expanding more
Oh.
of the Dead by Daylight sort of universe. What you're giving me?
Caroline's just suggested Nick Cage as Spider-Man Noir in Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
God about that.
Oh, that second movie's coming out soon. I
It
need
is
to go
coming
see
out
it.
very soon.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, but Dead by Daylight universe. I love the idea of grabbing all these characters from different universes, just bringing them together, creating this setting with these characters from different universes, and then being like, okay, we're going to expand on this universe that we've cobbled together from these other universes, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be so much fun. You know what's not fun? Being sued.
No. I don't imagine that's fun for anybody involved.
No. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, compared to how much money we know people have sunk into loot boxes, $170 isn't that much. But the fact that it was a child who was able to spend that money, I don't know. Perhaps it should be harder to spend money.
Yeah. I feel like a little bit of that's on the parents, but at the same time, if it's that easy for a child to make a purchase in a game...
I don't think many parents are well educated
Oh, no. That's why
on
I'm
the
partly blaming
dangers
the
of loot
parents.
boxes.
And it's not just that. It's also because kids are very, very good at finding workarounds.
Yes.
Like, if you
They're
tell a
also
kid...
they're so good at annoying you into doing what they want.
They're also so clever. They're so clever. Their brains are just like so full of neurons, learning and formulating plans. And if you're like, okay, here's Roblox. I don't want you buying any Robux or whatever it's called. It's Robux, right?
I think so.
So.
The kid's gonna be like, I'm gonna buy Robux, but I'm also going to mow some lawns and then sneak money into your wallet, and somehow that's gonna cancel out each other.
Yeah, that sounds similar to what I did as a kid. But
Yeah.
Not speaking from personal experience.
Okay.
I put out...
You know what? I think I've got a plan.
Yep.
So you're listening to Zed Games, is that it?
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Hello, you're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games. You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Perfect. Thank you. My name is Zahra. This is Zed Games. And with me in the studio tonight is Hazel and Peter.
Hey.
And I have a review for you two.
Yay.
Oh my god, a treat.
Are you ready to listen to my review?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, before I get started, nothing lasts forever, my friends, my listeners. You all understand what I mean. Mountains rise and fall, oceans turn into deserts, relationships aren't immune. Some reach a tragic end, a close friend passing away, or it ends the way it is expected to. Perhaps a grandparent, and you know you had as much of their life together as you possibly could, but it still hurts. Friendships and lovers can drift apart or blow up over what seems like the tiniest thing. Perhaps in hindsight you'll think it was for the best, but you might still feel a pang in your heart, mourning someone who still lives. Or maybe the person you knew no longer exists, replaced with a stranger. But the memories and experiences you had together are still there. They had an impact on your life, your mind and heart. I point out the inherent mortality of things, not to dismiss it or make it seem lesser, unimportant, but to highlight how beautiful and essential it is to appreciate these things. Like ice cream. It is melting and it must be eaten, but that doesn't lessen your enjoyment. If anything, it adds to it. Ice sculptures, sand castles, holidays, that time when you wake up just before the sun rises, Your childhood friend who moved away but taught you how to tie your shoelaces. Anyway, this is a review about Bird Alone, a virtual pet parrot who's just so excited to be your friend. I met Banana Smoothie a few weeks ago, hoping to find a virtual pet game that would help me to check in on myself daily and participate in some activities and games. And when I heard his voice calling out to me through the thick foliage of the jungle, well, I found what I was looking for, and more. You get to introduce yourself and help your new friend with a name. Seemingly, that's all it takes, and Banana Smoothie and I became best friends. Very quickly, it's established that Banana Smoothie doesn't have anyone else. He is alone, but he is full of delightful charm. If you ever encountered the inherent excitement that seems to flow through a parrot's veins, you'll know what I mean. Banana Smoothie is a bit like an excited child, wanting to learn about you and your interests and your emotions, and he has a lot to talk to you about too. After checking in with me, Banana Smoothie had things to show me. He wanted to share a poem, but it wasn't finished. I got to help him complete it, creating our very first collaboration. Here it is. Beautiful, bold friend, you chipped my shell for smiles, and light streamed in. It's no Shakespeare, but it's ours. Banana Smoothie also showed me the what I call the sky zone, with a few branches against the open sky. Here, Banana Smoothie would offer me a prompt, and I'd draw something based off that prompt. It's not exactly a work of art, but it's ours. And then my favourite area, the waterfall. Here I would use the lilies and lotuses and the waterfall itself to create music. Tapping on the water would create musical ripples. Swiping my finger through the waterfall caused a tone much like a theremin. And once the music was set, Banana Smoothie would sing. It did sound like we were just making UFO sounds at each other, but our music, our song, was ours. Singing together once a day causes a seed to rise from the water. A seed I could plant in our garden. Over the weeks, our garden grew more plentiful and vibrant, with Banana Smoothie telling me that this seed looks like trouble, or that seed committed tax fraud. It all goes in the ground regardless. This is a delightfully musical game, not just when we're making music, but also in Banana Smoothie's mannerisms and the world we interacted in. Brushing the leaves causes a beautiful trill. Tapping on the water makes xylophone noises. And Banana Smoothie is a parrot, making parrot noises. It's wonderful watching him reiterate a point with greater and greater excitement. His words turning from a nice white font to something mosaic and vibrant and colourful and moving. This is an experience that is very vibrant, colourful, and moves a lot. Immediately you're hit with bold, simple shapes and an expressive parrot. The world changes around you. Fruit grows on the trees, the leaves change colours. The game world is also in real time, so checking in at night would have a beautiful starry sky. And then Banana Smoothie telling me to come back later, it's bedtime. One of the things I really enjoyed was that the game forces you to take it in small doses. A few minutes in the morning to say hello, a couple of minutes on the commute home to collaborate on a poem or song. When your friend is out of ideas for the day, you will know about it. You can still hang out. You just can't rush through the content. Parrots are very curious, and I would give Banana Smoothie my thoughts on things. I would be asked questions about feeling sad or happy, tidbits about my life and interests. It's not like we had in-depth conversations, but Banana Smoothie was rather insightful, in a childlike way. Banana Smoothie also asked more difficult questions, like whether I'm scared of growing old, or what to do about disappointment or loneliness. It's simple, small, but being asked these things, taking a few minutes out of my day to think about now, this moment, my day, my fears and hopes, it was good to be so reflective. In this way, Bird Alone succeeded where a lot of virtual pets have failed. Turns out I didn't need a million mechanics and a ton of structure. Perhaps I just wanted to think about things like a little parrot. But remember what I was talking about earlier? About the impermanence of things, all things, and the inherent beauty and value in appreciating these things? Bird Alone does have an end, and it's sad because things ending, especially beautiful things, is sad. We want them to go on forever, but that's not the point of this game, of this experience, and you might not be prepared to say goodbye. But the memories are all there. Our poems are all here. Our beautiful garden is all here. Nothing can change that. And even if I fell over and hit my head and lost my memory, it still happened. So if you take anything away from this review, take a moment to appreciate the moment. Look at the tree outside your window. Watch the pigeons forage for crumbs. Tell that person you love them. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but for now, I'm here and you're there. And in my phone was a little parrot named Banana Smoothie. And this moment is a little bit special because it's this moment. And it's ours. Bird Alone is available for mobile phones, developed by George Batchelor. And it's quite a lovely little game. You're listening to Zed Games. We're here at 4ZZZ. I'm Zahra, and with me in the studio tonight is Hazel and Peter. Say hello, you two.
Hey.
Hello, you two.
Every time I say hello, insert something over here, I know what's going to happen, and I'm just like, it's like, oh.
I would never betray you like that.
You say that, and yet,
I
don't think you've done it. You haven't done it. Nearly everyone else has. And now, Peter, you have joined the ranks of the ones who have done it. The bit.
Peer pressure.
You're on the list now.
Oh well.
All right, we're going to be talking about some PlayStation news, but before that, I want to talk about some indie dev night news.
Woo!
That's right. Zed Games and Netherworld are teaming up to present Indie Dev Night, an evening showcasing Queensland-made indie video games. That is Thursday, the 15th of June, starting 6 p.m. All right, over at Netherworld. So you got plenty of time to block out your calendar and be like, I'm going to go check out a whole bunch of really awesome games made pretty much like right in front of the studio, in front of the station. There are actually programmers out there right now frantically coding their games in preparation for the Indie Dev Night. So that is Thursday the 15th of June, starting at 6 p.m. Over at Netherworld.
Yeah.
So I hope to see you there. It's definitely going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Drink some local brews, play some local games.
Enjoy
Meet
some
some
local
local
vibes. Hang out with your favorite local video game, radio show.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
I'll be there.
I'll also be there. Anyway, okay. So, PlayStation.
So, the topic of the day.
In case you just tuned in, PlayStation had their showcase early this morning for us at 6 a.m.
I thought you were about to explain what a PlayStation is.
A PlayStation is a station on which you play.
Such a simple naming scheme.
It really works. I always thought...
And they're up to number,
I always
5.
thought... This is the thing, because I've always been like a PlayStation kid. I was like, PlayStation's my console kind of thing. And my way of lording it over those Xbox people over there is what even is an Xbox? What?
It was originally supposed to be an X that was a box.
And
Yep.
That.
Yep.
Wow.
And The Rock
Bill
announced
Gates,
it.
marketing genius.
Incredible.
Yeah. People forget that The Rock announced the first Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't forget. It's simply in the back of my
I like pointing it out.
Whereas and also the naming scheme of the consoles: PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3,
PlayStation Portable,
4.
PlayStation Vita.
What? Okay, I'm flipping you off now. What is the Xbox
it's
up
better
to?
than Xbox Series S.
Yeah, I mean...
Or XS.
I mean, the Xbox did give us the funniest possible shorthand for a console. I'll let listeners figure that one out while we talk about PlayStation Showcase.
Yes.
Personally, okay. So here are my kind of top picks.
What were your highlights from the show?
My highlights is Foam Stars,
Yep.
which, as you pointed out, takes place in Bath Vegas.
Bath Vegas.
It's like kind of Splatoony, but instead of like painting the environment, you're shaping the environment using bubbles.
Yes.
And it all takes place in this kind of casino world. It's all very kind of cutesy looking. It's produced by Square Enix, so we've got a little bit of that kind of like Square Enix flair on it. It just looks like a lot of fun. Like, I love these colorful characters. This environment, I think it's going to be absolutely bonkers.
For a 4v4 PvP game.
Yeah.
That's...
Like, remember May in Overwatch with Wall?
Yep.
Yeah.
I still do. I still love her.
I'm imagining just kind of like that sort of
Just
situation.
everywhere.
Like
Is May still in time prison, by the way?
No, she got removed.
She broke out. It was a containment breach. This was actually covered in the news a few weeks ago. It was quite devastating for everyone involved.
I still annoy a lot of people with her.
Good job censoring yourself, by the way. I love that. Beautiful. I'm quite excited. I don't know about I'm intrigued by Marathon by Bungie.
Yeah.
I've been a Destiny fan for quite a while. So I'm Destiny fan, and then before that was a Halo, obviously, of course, that's a natural progression of things. I never played the original Marathon because I wasn't even born yet. Which
I was playing it.
You were playing
good.
it as a...
Yeah.
Wait, how old were you in 1992?
1992?
Yeah.
I was 8.
8. Okay, so you could have actually... Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I was imagining just like baby Peter in like diapers on
not that bad.
on a Mac, just like slapping the keyboard. You're still somehow like 7 feet tall, though.
Yes. That was at 16, so that's been a while now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I think
get in that story some other time.
I think my sort of like pleasant surprise.
Yep.
I say pleasant surprise as someone who's never actually played Dragon's Dogma. I'm excited for the fans of Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that was challenging and difficult, but not to the same extent that Dark Souls was.
Yeah.
But it had a similar sort of fan base.
Yeah.
But because it hasn't come out regularly,
it's
kind of gone under the radar a little bit for the newer generations.
It's a bit of like a, what's the word? When something, a bit of a cult classic kind of thing. Dragon, like, I've never really played Dragon's Dogma. I love the idea of it if I was someone who enjoyed those types of games.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of dragons. I'm not sure about their Dogma, though.
Yes. Sometimes they can get a little
The
bit...
series on Netflix was okay. Okay. As is everything else on Netflix.
For Final Fantasy fans, as another Final Fantasy, this one is 16.
Yes.
So there's 16 Final Fantasies.
There's more like 40, but this is the 16th mainline title.
I'm not counting all the games that were released on like the Nokia or whatever.
Yep.
I think I don't know how I feel. Like
I'm
I
surprised
enjoy
it's coming out.
I mean, yeah, fair enough.
I'm surprised they're finished.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's been a number of years since 15 came out, and 14's still going strong.
14's still going very strong.
I mean,
that's an MMO, though. That's different.
Pretty much any time I would hear
but since
about Final
2011.
Fantasy, it's about 14.
Yeah.
And it's usually something like, oh, they've updated the grapes.
The main thing about this one that I'm intrigued by is you only play one character.
Oh,
you don't have a
really?
team. You just play one person. And
don't
there's
know.
kaiju fights between all of the different summons that you play as that summon to fight. And each of those fights apparently plays differently.
Okay.
Like one plays like a Tekken fight.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright,
my brain
I'm
has
interested.
translated this into Final Fantasy Pokemon. And you form a team of your
Nope,
summons.
just one.
No.
So only one summon.
No, it's not Pokemon.
Okay.
I've decided this. Final Fantasy 16
I'm
is
sure they'll mod
the
it
next
in.
upcoming Pokemon game, where you only have one Pokemon, and it's not a Pokemon. But it's a creature.
It's a giant kaiju.
The developers are just throwing that build in the bin and totally restarting to make it
Weeks
Pokemon
before
now.
it releases.
Metal Gear.
Yes.
Metal Gear.
Hazel, do you want to take this away?
Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater remake. I mean, what more can I say? What more can I say? It looks like the trailers, the images look absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, the screenshots. I think they've only released
fantastic.
3.
IGN has included
fantastic.
a screenshot in their article that is of the most high-resolution, detailed, beautifully 3D modeled gharial that I've ever seen in my life. If you don't know what a gharial is, it's a type of crocodile that has a long, funny snout.
Okay, correction. It's a type of crocodilian.
I was dumbing it down for people who don't know what a gharial is. They probably know what a crocodile is.
We live in Queensland. We're in Queensland. I think people know what like crocodiles and alligators and gharials are.
I just remember that it was a mask.
Text
in
on
game.
0420
Yeah, you can have it as a mask and you can hide in the water.
and tell us whether you know what a gharial is.
Please.
Yeah, it was
Ez has written in to say he would never betray you either.
Well, okay. I mean, true. He's never betrayed me like that.
Yeah, it's one of those hidden items in the original Snake Eater. You could get the gharial mask and hide in the water to hide from the other soldiers.
Yeah.
But can you like run around outside of the water with the mask?
This
So
is
you have
big,
just like
long
your
thing on your head. And even in first person, you look through its
that's incredible.
mouth.
That is so exciting. I mean, I think this is when I finally get into Metal Gear series like properly.
Yeah, like I don't think there's too much to say about HD remakes of games because like it's going to be like the original game.
Yeah.
There's not that much they could add to it. And honestly, I hope they don't add too much to it because the original was kind of a perfect game.
It was. It had the refinement from Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, and then being a prequel, the start of the series timeline-wise, essentially, is absolutely I'm honestly surprised that it came out, because I did not know Konami were getting back into actual games and not pachinko
That is the
machines.
most interesting pronunciation I've ever heard.
Can you say that
Konami.
again, please? Oh.
The Konami code.
You can say Konami if you want to, sort of idea, but...
No. I
Fascinating.
love it.
What else is on the list?
What else is on the list? There's another Resident Evil remake. VR mode.
Yeah.
Which I haven't even looked at it because I don't think I can handle that.
I'm glad they did show off some VR titles, because I forgot
Yeah.
the PSVR 2 was a thing until the trailers came out again.
I keep forgetting about it until Paul mentioned something about it, and it's like, and then I think that's very cool.
Great headset.
I think it's very cool and very fun and funky, and then I look at how much it costs, and I go, ooh.
Yeah. Speaking of hardware, though, PlayStation's two big announcements from this morning in regards to hardware. Their new set of earbud headphones, I want some, and their new portable little system for in and around the house, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's important to note, with the portable system, it is not going to play natively on the device. It's just streaming from your PlayStation to the device. And it works over Wi-Fi. So if you're within the same Wi-Fi network as your PlayStation, you can play on it, which is awesome.
I'd really like to know if they are going to enable it for remote play over the internet.
Could be interesting.
As long as the data supports it, I can imagine, because you can already do that with your phone.
Yeah, remote play for PS5 already supports that. I just don't know if they're going to enable it on this handheld, because obviously they want to deliver a high quality experience. And if you've got latency because your PS5 is sitting in your living room and you're on the other side of the city at work.
I can imagine it working on 5G signals quite well, because the data download speed for those are good, but 4G
it's not going to have a modem.
No. But if you're hotspotting it from your phone or something else. Yeah.
I mean, look, personally,
it looks fantastic.
But I'm gonna
big screen.
I don't think I'm gonna hop in on the Project Q. I think I'm gonna hop in on the Project Q2 when that comes out in 1.5 years and makes this one redundant.
I just like the fact that they named it the Q and not the U, because you can't just call it a PlayStation U like the Wii U.
Oh, I mean, no, actually.
PSQ.
Yes.
PSQ is kind of funny.
I'm wondering if this was the rumoured one that they were doing in regards to a portable system that they're still working on as well.
I would think so. We were talking a little bit about it before the show because we remembered talking about something like this, but it was like all rumors. It was like, oh, who knows what it could be? It could be.
It was reportedly codenamed Q Lite. So I believe it's very much the same thing. The description of it is almost identical. That was just an unofficial rumor that happened before the real announcement.
If it's called the Q Lite, potentially there might be an actual proper Q that is a portable system.
That was back at the start of April.
Yeah. Maybe they're seeing how this goes before they actually jump back into the proper portable system again.
Yeah, I mean, I would love.
I don't think they're going to do like standalone portable hardware. I don't think the market's there.
With the Steam Deck and everything pushing for PC style gaming sort of thing on the go, there seems to be a resurgence in it to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it happening. I could also see it not happening.
Yes.
Like perhaps that they might feel that the market is so cornered by the Steam Deck and the Nintendo Switch that it's not economically viable to try and break into it.
There's also a lot of streaming only handhelds around now. Like,
yes.
I think Razer's got one. I can't remember the rest of them.
There's others.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them.
Gamers have got their new ROG device coming out as well. There's competition to Steam Deck. There is a lot of competition out there now that's filling that space. PlayStation
have interesting seeing it all pan out over the next year or two.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago now, but PlayStation made an announcement that they only want to get into a market if they feel like they can do something unique in that market. So just have to wait and see, I guess.
I've had a fantastic time talking about PlayStation with you two, and I honestly think we could probably talk about it more, but we don't have enough time. It's time for us to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's not enough time, but I love you all. Thank you for listening, and enjoy your evening.
Don't forget to tune in next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify.
Or follow us on social media at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.